Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to the Sisters Talk podcast. I'm your host, Danny M. We have special guest, Mr. Jeremy Graham. Thank you for gracing the stage today.
Hey, thanks for having me on. Excited.
Man, you came on a very, very, very controversial topic today. So
Yeah.
you are a brave man. Thank you for stepping out. Seriously.
Nah, I appreciate you for having me. Thank you.
All right, definitely. So, for people who are joining in, make sure you like, comment, share this video. We're going to talk about a very serious topic today. For people who don't know what topic we're talking about, it's going to be Roe versus Wade. Like, a lot of old school people are probably like, man, why are we even going back to this topic? Like, didn't we already handle this? You know what I'm saying? So, man, shout out to Titan Spartan. I already know who this is. Diligent man. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Make sure you like, comment, and share. So we're talking about something that's really, really gonna trigger some people. So I'm gonna go ahead and put out that trigger warning right now. But we're not gonna do y'all like that right away. Because first of all, we gotta talk about this. Hold on, let me pull this up real quick. Jeremy, I already know what I'm going for. This.
Woo! Yikes!
What? I mean, told me some little Kim.
Lil Kim. Lil Kim. So beautiful. But this is why it's really important for women to have just really be secure in themselves. She's taking plastic surgery a little too far. Too far.
You being nice. Let me have at this because I'm a female. So I can
go ahead. You can say it.
Ladies. Okay. I like what Lil Kim has. I don't know. She's rocking her sheer. I don't know what this is. I was gonna say sheer leggings. Maybe they are leggings. And I like her glittery sheer boots that she has on.
Mm-hmm.
But the head to shoulder ratio is not really giving. You know what I'm saying? And it's not giving with the padded shoulder. What do you call it? Y'all know what I'm talking about. The shoulder pads. I don't think she could have did without those shoulder pads. And Dillinger,
you look like a boss.
Somebody said Dillinger said she looks like the little leprechaun. Y'all better get off Lil Kim. She's still rocking it though. Good evening. Thank you so much for tuning in, my great people. Now, different colors are the thing. It's in now especially for actually all race women. Everybody rocking it. The greens, the purples, and everything. And it's not that I don't like it. I think what I'm not really feeling right now in this outfit is her shoulder pads.
Yeah.
That has to go.
It's a bad ratio. It's like it's a whole lot of legs down here, and then a little bitty top at the top. I don't know what's going on with no neck.
It appears that she has no neck. She has one. It's being covered up. She looks like this.
The outfit ain't doing her no good. I'm giving a 4 out of 10.
Right. Okay. Miranda says she was so beautiful. I agree.
She was beautiful for sure.
But let's talk about the truth about why we even brought Lil Kim up. Because this segment today, we're gonna be talking about some really harsh, very hard to deal with topics. So we want to keep it real tonight. Like Lil Kim didn't used to look like this. Everybody that's a true Lil Kim fan knows. Like this woman was gorgeous from the jump, right? You remember the song? I don't want to even say the name because I might mess up the song. But whoever's in the comments watching, y'all know what song I'm talking about when they had different transitions and different colors, and like it was big. What's his name? B.I.G. Notorious B.I.G. Little Kim. I want to say P Diddy was on the song too, but I'm not sure. But Lil Kim wrecked this song. And her natural body. Maybe she had some weave in. I don't know. But she looked really, really good. Shay says, I think she needs mental help. She went through a transition from the Biggie and Faith drama. Yes.
Yeah, I took it through that. Yeah, definitely.
100% agree. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But you feel what I'm saying too, right? Like, yeah, she's gorgeous. But her natural state was even more impressive than what I'm seeing right here, on the stage. Yeah, Crush on You. That's the name of the song. Thank you, Dilge. I knew somebody out there was gonna know what I'm talking about. Yeah, she was bomb. Y'all go back on YouTube and watch that video, Crush on You. Like she was killing it from every look. She had different color wigs on, but her body was immaculate and it was hers. It was her natural body.
Right. See, but in the 90s, the majority of women rocked natural bodies. If you go back and look at everybody thought Aaliyah was so beautiful, right? Yeah. If you drop Aaliyah 2022, a lot of the guys will look over her because most of the girls are going to get BBLs and things of that nature. She had that slender build,
Yep.
And but that's what people were going for back then. It was just a
Mhm.
natural look, the organic girl, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, straight up. But then back then though, it's so crazy the dynamics. Like back then, people were shunning people who had big butts. Remember, Sir Mix-a-Lot was like, "I like big butts," and when that song still is so prevalent today, right?
Right.
But when he was rapping about it, he was trying to help people see the beauty in big butts.
Yeah.
So now everybody wants a big butt. Like
Everybody.
20, 30 years later, it's so ironic, right?
Yeah. Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. But shout out to Lil Kim, man. She doing her thing. It's all about that self-love is the reason why I even brought that up. Because a
Absolutely.
lot of us battle and struggle with that every day, especially women. Because to be honest with you, a lot of women see everyday dating as competition. So they just want to look their very best. And society really does put that pressure on a lot of women and men to look
Right.
perfect. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's really unrealistic.
So do you think that pressure comes from men, or do you think it's largely because of social media, seeing so many different beautiful people on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok,
Yeah,
magazine covers, and things
for
of that nature?
sure.
Do you think the pressure comes from us, or do you think it really comes from other women?
I think initially it largely came from men. That's my
Mhm.
opinion, though. I could be wrong, but I think as a woman speaking on what I remember growing up, a lot of women would change who they were, their appearance, the way they behaved, the way they did their hair, the outfits that they would wear to try to impress the man that they like. And if the man said, "I like a big fat butt," you know what I'm saying? Then they try to wear the jeans that accentuated their curves. You know what I'm saying? Or
Absolutely.
like if they go, and then also to your point of social media, absolutely, I feel like now social media is the driving mechanism behind all of these surgeries that are happening right now,
Right. Right.
because what we see as beauty is the slender waist and the big ass, and so that's becoming the norm of beauty,
Right.
right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
So
I
Miss
agree.
Shanina says beauty is truly in the eye of the beholder. It appears she is still chasing society's definition of beauty.
Right.
Now, I'm gonna throw a theory out there. I really truly think that because Faith was with Biggie back in the day, and Lil Kim, everybody knows Lil Kim loved uh what's his name? Why I want to call him Big Papa? I guess it's because it was in his song. Y'all know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. She
Biggie
loved his dirty
Smalls.
draws, and she wanted to
Right.
be with him so bad, but she was always a mistress, always a side chick. So I feel like she bleached her skin to try to look like Faith. I feel like she went and got surgery and got a bigger butt because all the other women were doing it, right? And she wanted to maintain that sex appeal. Like back in the day, Lil Kim was a sex symbol.
Right. She was bad.
She was doing the most too. But I'm gonna
Yeah.
leave it there. Leave it there. All right, so that's more than big. It's not proportional to the rest of her body. To the point you both made, you have to be confident in self.
Yeah. That's really important. And,
Fact.
and look, and I'm not anti-surgery. Okay, I'm not anti-surgery. I feel like women should do anything that they want to do to enhance themselves, to make themselves feel more beautiful.
Yeah.
Whether that's makeup in the morning, if you got to go get the BBL in Miami, go get it. If you got to fly to
Period.
South America to go get the veneers, go get them. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's about how you feel about yourself. Uh, but you want to make sure that your self-esteem is in the right place and you're not doing it for society. So
Yeah, so
that's
that way you don't keep going back to back to back and you start messing yourself up. Like
right.
let's take Summer Walker for instance. Summer Walker looked great
Yeah.
before the surgery. She looks even better after the surgery. But I'm kind of like, all right, Summer, don't get no more done though. Like you're
Yeah.
good. Like
Right.
stop.
Right. I got to see her 2 years ago in person, and she was a beautiful girl then.
Yeah.
But just being, I guess, living in LA or being in LA, you see a lot of what they do there. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And trying to keep up with that crowd and trying to keep up with that look. I can see how they could end up going down a rabbit hole and just keep going and going.
Oh yeah.
Janet Jackson, one of the biggest stars in the world,
Yeah.
and beautiful girl as Penny
Mm-hmm.
on Good Times,
Yeah.
and she still got the plastic surgery.
She did. That nose is paper thin. No disrespect. I love Janet, but come on, like the nose is literally like withering away. Okay, so we have somebody that says, from a man's standpoint, I believe the biggest pressures come from other women. I know a lot of men who don't like that look. Granted, you're right too, because it's like called competition, right, between women. But I really feel like that competition is provoked by wanting that male attention. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the source of it all. And shout out to Kelvin for telling me Notorious. I don't know why I keep forgetting this man's name. It's been so long. Y'all knew who I was talking about though. And then let's see what they said. You might be onto something about bleaching her skin. Yeah, listen, that's my theory. Like when I look back at the history of Kim, Faith, and Notorious, I was like, oh, she wanted to be lighter skinned because maybe she felt like she would be more appealing. You know what I'm saying? Because let's not try to play with each other, Jeremy. Remember back in the day,
in the 90s, that
you
was
a
a lot
light
of
skinned
pressure.
brother, so go ahead
Yeah,
now.
no, in the 90s, it was a lot. If you looked at television, the light skinned girls were getting the roles. I'm so grateful that the times that shifted because about 6 or 7 years ago, like we started seeing the natural look come in and girls going rocking their natural hair, and doing big chops and darker skinned girls. We were representing melanated people. I loved it, and I saw that transition take place.
Yeah,
So guys aren't just putting light skinned women on pedestals, but beautiful black women are being put on pedestals, period, because we come in every shade. So, so,
exactly.
so it's a beautiful thing to see the dark skin, natural hair, beautiful black woman, with the
Yeah.
cocoa butter on,
You
all
know
of
what I'm
that,
saying?
step
Shining,
outside. They outside this
sparkling.
summer. You know what I'm saying? So it's beautiful. We love it.
It is, and that's something that I feel like our culture, I'm talking about specifically our culture, had to learn to love and accept who we are
Yeah.
in its wholeness and not divide each other based on the skin tones. But we already know where they came from. That's not what this show about today. So
Yeah.
it's consequences trying to modify your body changes every day. So true. And the last comment I'm gonna read before we get heavy into it, maybe I'm lying because the comments keep coming in. That's why I meant by she needs mental help from that drama. Yeah, you're right, Shay. She does. She needs therapy.
Yeah.
I'm sure she needs therapy. Yeah, on all levels. Notorious wrong for that. May he rest in peace though. But she says, you may be on to something because Big then went to Charlie Baltimore. Forgot about her. She had one hit single and I liked it. This may have truly impacted Kim. Most definitely, I think that it did. That's why she around here looking like I said the leprechaun. But anyway,
Right.
moving on.
We could have stayed on that one for a minute.
Man, they still going. Look at these comments. Okay, Kelvin says, I wonder with these women, what kind of household did they grow up in and how was their relationship with their father and their father with their mothers? Sometimes I wonder if it all comes from that. And remember my title, Domino Effect. Ooh, Kevin, you're gonna have to drop some more gems about that domino effect. What do you gotta say about that, Jeremy?
Yeah. So I do think, I think it's really important. And part of the reason why over 60% of our children are born out of wedlock now. So a lot of us don't have fathers in the home. It's a beautiful thing. I've watched two-parent homes when I see a father telling a daughter, "You're beautiful." They grow up with a healthy self-esteem, so they don't look for love in other people or love in other boys and things of that nature coming up because they had it at home. But when you have absent fathers and people that's not present being in the home, you getting dressed, you trying to look like whatever society is telling you're supposed to look like, whatever beauty is supposed to look like there. So I do think that's definitely a domino effect in the black community for sure. We chase after things that we wish we had. I know people that's 60 years old that still feel that absenteeism of not having a dad inside of their home even now. And the mistakes that they made along the way trying to find that father figure in other people that wasn't able to fill that void.
Man, this is so deep. Man, talking about self love, self care, and then we're also gonna talk about this new overturn of Roe versus Wade. Like a lot of
Roe
people,
versus Wade.
man, when you when you heard about what was going on, what did you think? How long did it take you to catch up to the news?
So I woke up that morning, went to work, and I started getting a bunch of alerts on my phone. And I'm like, whoa. Didn't even realize that this was a hot topic at the moment. Didn't
Mhm.
realize that the Supreme Court was even focusing on this right now, especially in the middle of going into almost a recession and we paying $5 for gas,
Period.
looking for baby
Ain't lying.
formula and things of that nature. I didn't think this was a priority for them at the moment. So
Mhm.
when I saw it, I was like, whoa, like it hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, we just overturned something that's been in place before I was born. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Yeah.
So definitely a major shift in the atmosphere. Um, I believe what it did was that when the news struck, I saw a complete division down my timeline when I went on social media,
Oh yeah. Oh
split
yeah.
in half. Men versus women, Republicans versus Democrats. it was just an ugly day, ugly time, and man, it shook me. I'm gonna just be honest with you, it really shook me.
Right, and the feeling I felt, Jeremy, was like I've never seen such a cascade of dividing events. We're supposed to be one nation under God, indivisible, but I'm seeing the exact polarizing opposite.
Absolutely.
And so that's the feeling that I felt when I read into the news. For most of you guys who don't know, I do a lot of different things. I sell life insurance. I'm particularly trying to cover everybody in our communities, people who need it, so we don't have to go out here and GoFundMe's. Jeremy, he's doing a lot of stuff for the community too. I want to give him time to tell you guys that as well as we get along in this show. And also, I sell solar panels. You know what I'm saying? So I've been real busy and out here baking in the sun. And then I come home and read this, and I'm like, whoa, wait, when was this even a topic of discussion? Roe versus Wade has been something that was ruled on since 1973. We're in 2022. How did we jump back in time? Like what's really going on here? We know, some of us know. I can't really say because I want my show to continue to be shared, commented, and liked. You know what I'm saying? Right. But when you really break it down and think about where this is coming from, all this division, Jeremy, where do you see us going as this ruling has been overturned?
So I want to say, like, if we look at the last administration, the last two administrations, right? So we had President Obama in office. For the first time, I felt like we had liberal whites and liberal black people all on the same page. People were excited. It was a high time. And then we got President Trump that came in afterwards. I felt that the political agenda swung completely the opposite way at the time, and I saw a big divide start happening there, right? Yeah. So it wasn't. Nobody expected that. That was like a complete wild card. You know what I'm saying? Nobody saw that coming. And for the first time, we saw a lot of hidden racism that was in the country start to fester, started coming up that we had never seen. People had, not in my day and age, like people got real bold, and so folks started speaking on things that they were really coming outside. So I started seeing a big divide there, right? So, and then we move over to this administration, and they're trying to bring us back together, but then the Supreme Court makes this decision, and now it seems like it's a war between male and female, my body, my choice, and here we are again as a people divided once again. So it was race last year when the police was doing the police shootings and things of that nature. We saw innocent black people being killed, but we got justice. You know what I'm saying? Right. But this time it looks like another political agenda to just split the country apart. And I'm a little bit concerned. I'm gonna be honest with you, because I feel like the more divided we are as a country, as a people, the easier we are to collapse and go the direction that we don't need to be going in. And I feel like that's the direction that we're heading in economically right now.
Absolutely. And you couldn't have said it any better than that. I'm glad you said it, because I didn't want to mess up the flow of what we got going on. All right. I mean, hey, anybody out there agree, disagree? I seen a lot of comments that were coming in, Jeremy, as you were talking. So let me read a few. We have Shanina, who says Roe versus Wade became a hot topic when states began to change their abortion laws. Texas had multiple lawsuits regarding this issue. Oh, yeah, absolutely. When we don't have people that look like us in office, we see things like this happening. Okay. Woo. Yes and no.
Yeah, I'm about to say, because
we got it. I want you to get into that.
Yeah. So if you look at the Supreme Court, we do have melanated people there. They may not represent the interests of the majority. Right now, we have a black woman in almost the most powerful seat in the world as a VP. So which tells me we have the potential to get out there and vote. I think a large part of it is that we still have to focus on smaller elections. I think we focus on the major elections, but we miss the smaller elections of people that make up the Senate, that help create laws, the legislators and things of that nature. We don't go out to the polls and vote, so those people end up in those seats over and over again, and they're making the laws for our lives. So
and know what misconception, Jeremy? Don't mean to intercept, but a really big misconception in our community is that the president makes the laws. And this is literally something we learned in elementary, and people probably forgot.
We don't retain that information. You know that the president, they're not lawmakers. You know what I'm saying? They're not lawmakers. And I think we have to do a better job at getting that information out there and breaking it down to a elementary level, so people could really understand, hey, this is the time we vote for the people that help make the decisions and make the laws. You know what I'm saying?
And then also, just to add to what Shay commented, because I understand why she said that, but really it's about getting people in position that have similar beliefs and moral value systems as you do. That's really what the voting process is all about. I'm going to vote for the person who, okay, if I believe that I don't want to work 40 hours a week, I believe in working 30, and I still want to get my bonus and my vacation, I want a month off instead of 2 weeks every year, I'm going to vote for the person who says they're going to make sure that Congress gives me that, right? Versus the person that's saying, no, you're going to work 60 hours instead of 40. I'm going to give you 2 weeks of vacation, and you're not going to get that bonus every year. You're going to get it every other year. So that's just like a real rough example, but we have to think about this, right? I like the fact that you said smaller elections, because it gives us more concentration on the people that matter.
That's right.
Per election, right? Yeah. So like we missed these midterm elections, which are extremely important on voting, right? Because these are going to be the ones that determine, all right, so what is it going to look like in the Senate? What's it going to look like in the House of Representatives? But half of us don't even know who these people are. It's a long list of them too.
Right, and they do a good job not really promoting it as much, because I don't think they want the masses to hurry up and run to the polls for those elections.
No, the less we know, the easier it is. Yeah, absolutely. Kelvin says it would be great if we could all be a part of these choices. I feel only women should be the deciders of what women can do with their bodies. Now, I'm glad he segued me right into that, because I was going to ask you, Jeremy, I have you on. You're a guy. I didn't. Last time I checked, men can't give birth unless through via C-section if you're a trans male. But that's a whole nother topic or a whole nother show, a whole nother day. But in general, women are the child bearers. So what kind of heat or conversations have you been getting as you vocalized your opinion on this Roe versus Wade decision?
So I respectfully disagree with that in a sense. And part of the reason I disagree with it, if we go back to 1973, it was all men on the Supreme Court at that time. We had no women there. They actually were the ones that made the decision so women can have abortions. So we had a major role in making that decision. We had a major voice in making that decision without women ever having to be involved. Right? So if I get a woman pregnant today, although she is carrying that baby and she's nurturing that baby and the nutrition is coming from that woman's body, that she's taking care of it, half of that baby is still mine. I feel like that we live in a day and time where we can vocalize our opinion on everything and about how we feel, but when it comes down to women issues, we have to be silenced. And I respectfully disagree with that. I feel like that we should have a voice. That's our First Amendment right. I feel like that's the right that the government, when our founding fathers came together and decided to draft it up, they decided that, hey, we could speak on these type of topics, but it's a taboo topic because it's a touchy topic, because the feminist movement has really been trying to silence us in that area. So I feel like that men should be able to vocalize it, because they don't stop men from speaking about it when they're pro-choice.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought up the feminist movement as well. Again, these are going to be a lot of trigger topics, so I apologize in advance. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. So like, comment, and share. And also put your feedback in the comment section. For the feminist movement, you have to realize that these women, a lot of them are the way they are because of hurt, right? Some type of trauma that's happened to them. Not giving them an excuse, but it does help us to rationalize why they think and move the way that they think and move, right? And so someone who's been, I don't know a better way to say this, RAPED by a male is going to be less likely to want to receive any type of information, any kind of help or anything from someone of the opposite sex, right? Let's just keep it real. So that's where a lot of this is coming from. Now, on the flip side of that coin, based on this Roe versus Wade result, I've heard a lot of females say, no, they're pro-life. It's like, if that happens to you and you happen to procreate as a result of that, then you still have that, you bear that child and set that child up for adoption. They don't believe that you should. But then on the other side of that, there's a lot of women like, you can't tell me what to do with my body, especially not a man, right? Respectfully. Just like I, as a woman, can't tell you, Jeremy, what to do with your body.
That's right.
Can I tell you need to get a vasectomy?
No,
I can say it, but
right. You can say it. You can say it all day, right? But at the end of the day, that we get our own free will. We make the majority of that decision if we decide to go get snipped or if somebody decide to carry a baby or not.
And we never have a debate this grand about that. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, we never do. Not, and I feel like the conversation needs to be on a bigger platform. You know, with intellectual people that's going to take the emotion out of it. Let's talk about the statistics. Let's talk about the reality of what is really going on, and not just about how I feel about it, but about what the real situation is. And I think that we could get progress, you know, and I think that we could realize that more of us are probably on the same team than not. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And so the problem is because we don't have these big debates and conversations. We just you see a bunch of debates and arguments on social media, but nobody ever really get to see the people that come together.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like a lot of us would be on the same team if we could really just have these dialogues. You know, but I don't know if the politicians wanted to have us that way. I don't. You know?
Obviously not, Jeremy. That's the reason why we're talking about it on the Sister South podcast. You feel me? Because they don't want to have our input, and that is the big problem that a lot of people are having right now. So for people that don't know why Roe versus Wade was overturned, I'm going to read a little segment from this article. It's coming from the UK iNews, so it's an online article. So hey, we can believe it or not, right? Because nowadays. You just never know.
You don't know.
Yeah, keeping it real. But it says Roe versus Wade has been reconsidered in light of another case, which is Dobbs versus Jackson's Women's Health Organization. So for people that know about this, drop a comment in the section below and let me know if I'm on the right path. They said it's a challenge in the Mississippi's 2018 Gestational Age Act, which banned abortions after 15 weeks, with exceptions only for medical emergencies or fetal abnormalities. So I kind of remember reading about this a few years back.
I was living there at the time.
Okay, so you know about this.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so this is stemming from 2018. So this is something that had been ongoing behind the scenes, and in the midst of all that, we had the scare with the whole virus, and then here come the monkeypox, and here come the war, and here come the gas prices, and do I need to keep going? Amen. It was one thing after another. We're gonna be tired in another 5 or 6 years. We're gonna be looking like we're 60 years old. But on a serious note, this is something that stemmed from what happened, you know, with the case in Mississippi. Right? Just a few years ago.
Absolutely.
It's crazy. So Dillinger says that it's time for us to have these uncomfortable conversations.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And remove the feelings try to remove the feelings out of the conversation. Also, I noticed, Jeremy, there's a lot of people who throw religion in this whole conversation. I've seen a ton of that. I've heard people say, oh, well, you know what? If you don't want to procreate, then don't do the act that leads to procreation. How can people gonna stop doing that?
Let's be honest. You know, if whether a person is religious or not, God created sex, right? And He created it, and it feels good. So it takes a high level of discipline to be able to be abstinent and to practice celibacy. But statistically, we know the majority of Americans are not doing it. We live in a hypersexualized society, and because of it, the media is always constantly putting sex in front of us ever since we were little kids, on commercials, television, music, etc. So we live in a hypersexualized society, and it's easier to just tell people don't have sex. But the reality is, they've been telling us that for 100 years, and it ain't nobody stopping. You know what I'm saying? So that's not the answer.
Nope. I'm over here talking about bad boys. Can't stop, won't stop. Rockefeller. Nobody's gonna stop because most people that are doing that are grown. You can't tell grown people what to do. That's just the bottom line. So therein lies the issue. So we have Jasmine. I gotta read. Well, here, you read that. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it. Okay. She said, I don't agree with women being the only ones that have a decision in keeping aborting a baby. There are good fathers out here, and sometimes they find baby mamas that are deadbeats. That's true. If that man wants to keep his child, but his baby mama doesn't, that's not fair to him. Yes, it's her body. However, it took two people to make that child. So it should take two people to make a decision on the behalf of the child.
All right.
Ooh, boy, that's loaded.
Yeah.
Jasmine. So, I that's a touchy topic, right? I actually agree with it. I do agree with that. I wish we were in a position as a male to be able to make that decision, but we don't. We don't have that decision. if I could be in love with a woman today and I get her pregnant, and I could say, baby, please keep the baby. She could wake up the next day and go to the abortion clinic without my consent, without my decision making, any of that, and just get rid of the child. It's a lot of men out here that's actually been in that situation where they're scarred, they're heartbroken. This is why they ought to be able to speak vocally about it too, as well, because there are women that aborted babies from good fathers, from guys that would have been present in their child's life. They would have been active and probably would have potentially even married the woman that they got pregnant. But because she wasn't ready at the time, or she may have been in school, or it could have set her back financially, etc., she had to make a decision that she felt was best for her. Right. We could talk about it being selfish. We could talk about it being going back to the illegal matter of my body, my choice. But at the end of the day, as a male, we don't get any say-so whatsoever when it comes down to those decisions.
That is truly the unfair part too.
Yeah, it's very unfair, and it's heartbreaking too at the same time. So, but yeah, that was a great comment that she put there.
Oh, it was fully loaded with facts. I mean, gotta put it back up there for people who didn't get a chance to read it. That's the world we living in right now. There's nothing more else I can say about it, and there's so much more I want to dig a lot deeper, but we don't have enough time because we already hit our 20-minute mark 14 minutes ago. But Miranda says, therein lies the problem. We can say have a vasectomy, but to say no abortions, we're speaking of apples and oranges. And in a sense, no, we're not, because if a woman decides to get rid of that fetus, I mean, a guy can get a vasectomy so that he can't procreate during that time. He can always get a reversal. That's the thing that we can't do as females. I mean, sometimes we do it when the lawyers say, hey, it's time for you to have another one, even though those tubes are tied. But in rare cases. So what I'm saying is that we've never gone to the Supreme Court about whether or not a male should get a vasectomy is what I'm saying. But we make a grand gesture about whether or not women should be able to abort what we call a fetus. A lot of people are calling it the baby, but it's not a baby until it has been bared. And that's a scientific terminology that people are not really addressing or adhering to. They're calling a baby when it's not. It's still a fetus. Whatever you call it, just know that I feel that you have to do what's best for you as an individual. Nobody knows what your circumstances are, your relationship between you and the person that you procreated with, or your financial, right? I mean, all of that plays a huge deciding factor in whether or not you're going to be able to take care of that child. And not everybody wants to be a bearer of a child just to adopt that child and give it away.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why a lot of women have to make tough decisions like that. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, I think statistics say we've aborted maybe 63 million since Roe versus Wade, since 1973, and which is a lot. But I know a lot of people, for different reasons. Some medically had to be aborted, some for surgical reasons, just to save the parent's life. So there's a whole lot of other different dynamics that we haven't spoke about today that come into play, just for being able to have to save a person. And somebody even mentioned rape earlier. You know what I'm saying? Although it only makes up 1 to 2% of overall abortions, but it's still a percentage.
Actually, that was me. I brought that up because that's a very, very harsh example of why in most cases it would be necessary. And even though it's such a small percentage, those people still matter.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Jasmine says a guy has to ejaculate 1,000 times before his vasectomy works correctly. I see so many patients who get pregnant because they think that the snipping worked, and it did, but they didn't empty the tank first. Good point.
Wow. Good point. Okay, you better educate, Jasmine. You better educate.
Oh man, but listen, I wish we could talk about this a little bit longer, man. I hope everybody first of all, thanks to everybody that tuned in and gave a wealth of knowledge and feedback on this topic, because it's not an easy topic to discuss.
Right, definitely.
At all. And also, Jeremy, I just want to thank you so much for taking out some of your time tonight to grace the stage. I'm gonna have you back.
Yeah, definitely coming back. We're definitely gonna do it again.
Yeah, in less controversial form, maybe, or maybe it's part 2 to this. I don't know yet.
Okay, whatever. Hey, whatever. I'm here for it.
Most definitely, guys. So look, I don't know when I'm coming back to the stage because I'm always busy. But listen, help your girl out because we're trying to sell these solar panels, and I'm in H-Town right now. I'll be in Dallas next week, Listen, I sell solar panels throughout the entire state of Texas. So hit me up, 832-590-0691. If I have a flyer, I'll put it up here in just a moment. But listen, guys, make sure you share this video. These are the unnecessary topics that I bring to the stage, but it is necessary. You know what I mean? Like, these people are upset. You don't know what they've gone through. You know what I mean? Like, every situation, every law that's passed affects people in different ways because we just never know who's going through something, right? We don't know. Like, we know we're only in control of our lives and we only know what we have to deal with. That's why I'm not quick to speak on somebody else's situation, right? I'm not going to take sides until I know. And right. Jeremy's trying to cue me to get up off of here.
No, they said part 2. I'm like, hey, let's do it.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not trying to wave you out of here.
Actually,
I had time. You could have ran in another 15 minutes. I'm good.
No, because when I come back, I want to have all the scientific terminologies, the stats, everything, so people know the truth. Because, we can talk about this today loosely, but it's better when we put the actual context of what we're talking about in figures, right, so people can see, right? Just like you said, rape victims account for less than 1% of the abortions that occur. And that's true, but we also need to talk about these other stats. And we're about to get real heavy and deep in part 2 as well. So we'll come back. It'll be in July, of course. And we can't wait to see you then. So you have any last words, Jeremy?
Hey, well, once again, thanks for the invitation. Looking forward to coming back and just just dialoguing and having a good time, So thanks for everybody that tuned in on tonight. Looking forward to being back again. Y'all have a great night.
Absolutely, guys. And I'll see you guys next month, and I'll let you guys know ahead of time like I always do. I just threw it on y'all, this one right here, because I just couldn't let it go. Because when I saw that Jeremy had posted something on Facebook about this, and I was like, dang, they're attacking him. Come on, let's go on the show and talk about it, Not everybody's going to agree, man, but our voices have to be heard. That's what this show is all about. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the Sisters Talk podcast. Until we see each other again in July, you guys be safe and be blessed. We are out.